TNC versus Geek Fam. I'm Pixel here with Fogged. And Fogged, I'm seeing some sort of classic SEA core matchups here. We're getting the Gyrocopter coming out on TNC, and Geek Fam, they're going with that classic age-old response of the Morphling against it. Does the Morph still hold that same sort of potential against the Gyro in this meta?
It always can get there, right? If you do ever get your, that nice replicate, you nice morph into it, and you can get, of course, that good combo. He also has a lot of good backup, right? He has Venge, he has Ogre, he has Wyvern, so he is going to be secured, at least protected. So, I mean, there's definitely potential. It's just if they can, because what I'm looking at from TNC is a very fast-paced run at U-Draft.
Sure, yeah, and like as the panel started to talk about the Night Stalker pick, do you feel that this hero can crush them pretty hard?
I think this was like the ace for me. This is the one thing they didn't have a great counter to the Morphling. Now this is a fantastic solution.
Yeah, well, let's see if they're able to deal with the Morph in that sense as we get ourselves into game one, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, yeah, so for Geek Fam, what is the sort of reaction to when you get this Night Stalker picked against you? Is it sort of a race to get the forces online? I guess already they do have the Venge with the swap, right, for some sort of way to tear the other cores outside of the reach of the Night Stalker?
It's going to be force stabs, force stab swaps, anything that you can do to protect Raven in particular, because you're going to assume, I think we'll probably get I think KP will be the one that gets Vessel. It'll be Armel or KP, the one that gets the Vessel, and then probably Blink Dagger on the Night Stalker, so he's just going to stick on the Morph, because besides that Night Stalker we were looking at before the pick, that Morph had limited catch, right? You're going to be able to avoid the X mark the spot, the arrows. It's going to be tough for them to land that once. Night Stalker's the thing that makes it difficult, so yeah, force stabs, swaps, going to be looking at Cuckoo's positioning a lot in this game.
You're a trusty man.
And that's interesting too, is it's not, it's a 3-position Venge too, as the saver, I guess you could say, in this game to protect that Morphling.
Yeah, and the mid-doom. I mean, something that I don't think I've ever really seen. Maybe apart from when I might have played it myself in an all-random game, where I say I'll take this mid, but this is not, of course, the usual position at all. Something that I've very rarely seen, if any times, in all of the games I've ever casted.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds kind of awful versus Conka, doesn't it? You're going to get slammed, and you can't really trade right-clicks as well, but I mean, maybe he can actually sustain because of if he gets the early level 2 Devour and stuff. I don't know. I feel like this is just an easy Conka lane, but maybe I could just be wrong.
Yeah, well, we'll see how well Carl's able to deal with the harassment from Armel. And even sort of with the, I guess, what sort of skill build is he going to go for? Do you go sort of a different way because you're in this 1v1?
I'm not sure, to be honest. All I know is Armel is going to have every single last hit in the lane unless they address him. So,
sure.
Bottom lane, Cuckoo, looks like he's probably going to die.
They're going to get one. I mean, they might even have a chance of turning on a Zephyr a little bit. Gabby's going to have Homing Missile back up in a few seconds. Zephyr just using the last of his mana there to try and spam Gabby low, but they're kitted out with regen. Of course, March with the headdress, and between them still 5 tangos for this lane, so TNC definitely prepared for a bit of battling.
Yep, and Gabby got the last hit, right? So he's got double Wraith Band already. So this bottom lane should probably be pretty good for Gabby. March might die a couple times, but I'd imagine that Gabby's going to free farm down here as well. So 2 real solid lanes for TNC that I'm looking at the moment. Top, I mean, I like the top lane too, so I'm really looking at like 3 winning lanes for TNC at the moment. And they should be able to keep pressure up and look to run at them as Tim's top.
He gets a little too close. Wymon's just able to turn with the Fire Blast. Raven slides in with a waveform. And Tim's just a little out of position there, gets punished.
He needed 1 more creep to hit level 2. Always have to be careful of that when you are Mirana, when they identify, you have arrow level 1, just have to play a little more careful. But yeah, still, I mean, they get that kill, but I still think that it's the 3 winning lanes for TNC that should be at least. I mean, I'm not gonna look at mid because like I said, I'm very certain that Armel's gonna destroy this matchup.
I mean, what is this down to? Is this just down to the fact that, sure, I guess Doom, you've still got a hefty right click with the animation, and then competing against Typebringer, you just don't stand a chance?
Terrible animation. 0 armor, so you get slammed every time you get hit by that physical damage, and you cannot trade with right clicks. You cannot push the wave out. There's a lot of different reasons we don't see doing it that much.
Yeah, and I guess you're hardly a hero really that can step to the neutral camps and do much at all. That damage early on Scorched Earth is nowhere near enough to reliably farm neutrals with.
Yeah, the scary thing is too is like as soon as Kunkka hits 6, Doom's just dead. But one rotation, it's very easy kills because of that low armor.
I mean, even in a situation like that, if Armel had a little bit more mana for the X into
Look at this. That's what I mean. It's going to be a lot of regen expended by K in order to match. But Devour will maybe, maybe the bonus gold, it's 80 bonus gold at level 2 with that regen. So maybe somehow it ends up evening out,
Your admiral is on board.
Top lane.
I'm going to try a bit onto KP. Raven has the waveform to close the gap if he wants to chase for this, and he will do so. KP trying to juke through the trees. Whitemon got a blast up again in a second. KP's got to do his best to keep out of range. He does have boots, whereas Whitemon does not, so KP should be fine here. Also has the salve, actually finding himself a courier. Okay, will be microed away, so KP will not go for that. But fair bit of time where he's going to be away from the lane. Whitemon trying to stay closer to his whereabouts to cancel any potential TP. KP does manage to keep himself in. Actually opts to just TP back to base as well. Goes for the full refuel. Doesn't mean this will be a fair bit of time where Raven's going to be happy top.
Yeah, I mean, this will happen. Ogre is one of those heroes that can prevent, one of those like a little bit more risky carries to get pressured too much. Whitemon doing a good job of that. So Raven will at least be able to start now getting that farm caught back up, which he did need because he was getting pressured a bit. Tim's going to start moving. Here's the move.
Yeah, they're going to bring in March as well. Extra bit of firepower. He's not quite hit the 6 yet, and does mean that the kill won't be there. The Marana arrow attempted by Tims, but Carl will be able to dodge it. Not quite enough to bring down the Doom, but still making Carl's life pretty sad in the mid lane. 29 for 6 against the 22 for 2, and it's not looking to get any better anytime soon. Because I mean, even when Carl hits the 6, Kunkka, hardly a hero you can just straight up walk up and Doom and guarantee a kill on. Armel with the 2 braces and a potential boat buff coming out onto him is never going to die to that in lane.
No. Unless he gets caught off guard, that's the only thing. But K, he's sticking down to like 200 HP. Yeah, they're just duking it out a little bit.
And one more time, bring it in the torrent. And a couple of hits, that'll do it. Yeah. Armel's able to outplay him, get that kill in the 1v1. And this tough lane for the Doom that we keep talking about is only going to get harder now, as that will give him the 6. He's going to get a clarity sent out, and at that point, can't really return to this lane.
Oh man, 3K net worth already pretty much on this Kunkka. Tread, double bracer, that is a fantastic start for Armel. As we said, we kind of expected with the way the lanes were set up. We also see bottom. I mean, Gabby's all the way up at that top of that net worth too, farming just fine. Cuckoo getting prevented a bit. So yeah. I mean, TNC looking real good in the start, and now it's nighttime. So now top lane becomes even more threatening and powerful as KP is actually a real hero.
Yeah, we'll see how mobile Armel's going to be across the map. I mean, obviously, the mid lane is such a lovely place for him because there is this potential kill on K each and every time that he's got the mana for the combo. But obviously, if he does go to side lanes, he's got great cause to fight with, right? Both KP and Gabby can set up very nicely for kills with the control of a Kunkka.
Absolutely. They have so much damage in their draft. Anytime they want to look to take any type of fight. Mid lane. Doesn't have the X up. Yeah, he used the X to go back to base to heal up.
Yeah, and K with this high ground ward on the other side of the cliff, sees him playing around with the torrent animation.
They're actually going for the Doom with Zephyr here.
I mean, with the 2 of them, they're going to struggle to dive. I mean, there's an IO on TNC, right? Every time March is just going to be able to come in, keep him safe. I mean, and this is one of the things, right, that could be good about the mid-doom, right? You get the 6 online very quickly, but if you're throwing it out like that, that's suddenly out for 2 minutes, and then you kind of become a useless mid-hero for the next 2 minutes.
Yeah, you're just a farm bot, really. Devour creeps inside the side lanes, because now you actually cannot do anything. You cannot rotate, and you cannot help your side lanes that much, so definitely a big opportunities right now for TNC. If Armel does want to move, if he wants to gank the side lanes, or if he could just stack and farm jungle.
Yeah, he could just keep farming.
Kunkka does like in a beast anyway, so. And he looks like he's actually going to be going for, he's going to go for the Solar Crest to buff up Gabby.
Yeah. It's a little different. You know, not something you'd expect to see a Kunkka rush in this mid position, but yeah, I mean, it's definitely a way to buff up his cause. You mentioned in the draft, obviously, how many ways Geek fam have to really make Raven big and powerful. TNC, they're going to look for that in the items. Obviously, they do have the IO backup, but Yeah, these little extras are going to make the cause incredibly strong in these fights where Geek Fam's just not going to be quite ready to fight back. You've got this mid-doom, you have this Morphlng, you know, Raven obviously needs time. Sort of the early to mid fights are going to be so much stronger for TNC. So
they're diving again onto both.
They're going to try go for the two of them. Whitemon does come in with the TP, but again, the damage is lacking from Geek Fam. They don't really have much at all to hit back with. Void slow onto Whitemon. He's underneath the tower though, will bloodlust it up as Armel backs away.
Who's going to buy the vessel though? I see KP has 1,000 gold as well. Either Armel or KP needs to buy the vessel this game. They're versus Wyvern and Morphling and Doom.
Oh.
I mean, I hope so.
What? He's queuing up. Oh, no. Yeah, wait, what did he pick up just now?
He just got phase booth, so.
Okay.
Okay, they're gonna have Tims do it. All right, it's gonna be a bit slower then, though. I'm not sure. I mean, I guess that's the choice that they wanted to make, but it's gonna make it come out quite a lot slower than those two because they're getting an insane amount of farm on the Night Stalker and Kunkka.
Sure. I mean, I guess as you say, it's always gonna be great killing the morph, but against the other things like the cold embrace, and they have a lot of magical bursts, right? So maybe feeling confident that they don't actually need the urn that quickly to get the kills on the heroes they want to make moves onto.
It's just such a good, like versus Doom, it's fantastic. It prevents a Devour regen. He's high HP strength hero, like Morphling, Wyvern. They'll get it, but yeah, either way.
There we go, looking for a Doom opportunity. Just going to drop it straight down on Gabby. But he's tethered up, he's moving back under the tower, TPs are coming in, and here's the X-Mark from Armel, he's ready to turn it around. Looks to try and bring Cage back down into the boat, Arrow follow up, the swap to the side, I mean it's Cuckoo swapped himself into the Arrow, so Cuckoo will fall. It wasn't even enough to save K, as both KP and Armel chase him out. KP even looking over towards Whitemon, doesn't have enough mana though for another Void Slow, but maybe not matter, he's just going in with the right clicks. Whitemon turns, Tims jumps forward, with the Starstorm nuke, Whitemon, he's going to go down as well. They lose 3 down here on the bottom lane, and it's not looking like a great highlight reel for the mid-doom so far this game.
No, definitely, I mean, you can't be the one that leads if you don't have the bench swap in position, right? If you have a way to catch and keep him near you guys when you do that, sure, and to break the tether, then you have an opportunity, but that was very overzealous, we'll say, you know. The nice little caster way of saying
Maybe they get Tims. They'll get Tims. Tim's got the bounty rune though. He's like, job done. Okay, job done. I got the bounty rune.
I mean, the biggest thing really is that Raven's not getting pressured. He just got a top tower, right? He's still top 2 net worth. So at least they're forcing the aggression away. They're making all the moves on the opposite side of the map and making him just have all that free space in the world. He even gets, like, they get the 2 bounty runes up top, so 3 bounty runes for them. You know, that's a choice they're going to make. Maybe it's just like they're trying to match the relentless aggression that's going to happen so that Raven doesn't get ran at.
Yeah, I mean, Raven has been known to course carry Geek Fam on his back many times. You know, he's that sort of carry player. That sort of 4 protect 1 can definitely work out in Geek Fam situations.
Especially when he's a Morphling with Ogre, with Venge, with Wyvern all backing him up versus a Gyro. You know, he's got that potential. Yeah. Exactly.
No, Raven can definitely carry. He can definitely carry this.
Yeah. As long as the rest of them don't die too much and fall too far behind. Because the thing is that Gyro's also going to hit a bit of a faster pace of when he can actually just join and show up to all of the fights with his team.
Yeah, moving him down bottom as well. Here was for Cuckoo. Put some pressure onto this tier 1. See if TNC want to try and defend. Armel's coming down with the smoke.
And KP has ult in 10 seconds. There's a full drum coming out. This is not going to look good for Geek Fam.
Let's go. They're going to start the fight onto Cuckoo. Make sure there's no potential of swap saves if they try and burst down the bench to start things off. Now Raven on the retreat. A homing missile heading his way. TNC trying to chase this down. They will get underneath the tower though, and TNC aren't going to go any further. K is also here at the side. Doom at the ready. Gonna start coming into the jungle. Maybe see if he catches anyone on the way back out, but TNC not going to be heading into the path of this Doom, so K won't find anything.
I think they have to be a little careful how they make those separate rotations. I think you look at TNC draft and you're like, there's no way that we can take a head-on fight unless we just get someone out of the fight preemptively with a Doom or with a Curse and they just die beforehand or swap out of position. Head-on fights, when you have this Morphling and a Doom that has this type of game, you know, Doom versus Kunkka, Kunkka's always going to win in the team fight aspect. So they have to be able to, we have to approach those a little bit better if they want to go for those like 4-man moves, because Raven actually joined them down bottom too for that one.
Would you like this as well from Gabby? Go for the Diffusal Blade Rush, bit of the topster.
I mean, I love this build versus any type of like strength heroes, and even versus Morphling, it's super frustrating. And Wyvern, you're actually able to do something versus Cold Embrace a lot of the times too. Yeah, I like it quite a bit. Couple hits on the Doom in the front lines, and he's screwed as well. So
yeah, of course, it definitely means that maybe some of these fights, he's going to be tanky enough to live for a bit, but if he doesn't pop that Doom early, he may not get the chance to cast it at all. As Cuckoo found in the river, arm out, another easy grab with the Torrent boat combo. And at level 12, he's going to be free to find kills wherever he wants to, but that is
a solar crest.
That was indeed. So 2 minutes slowdown on that item pickup.
Wow, that
very nice courier snipe from Zephyr.
That was the full solar crest too.
Yeah, the ultimate, the recipe.
That's a big pick off there for them, as Armo will be slowed down quite a bit with the stats at least. I mean, he still has a medallion, and they're still getting all the farm in the world. Next item choice, I was about to save this for KP, waiting to see what he queued up, but I expected this one, the Blink Dagger. Instantly Blink silencing on top of the Morphling. I mean, he's actually getting pretty close as he switches. He's going to be KP, just kidding. I like the Blink a little bit more, to be honest, this game, but I think he probably feels like he has to act as that frontliner so that the Kunkka can get the spells off anyway.
See Whitemon coming across the X mark straight into the arrow. Torrent onto Cuckoo as Cuckoo will be in with the swap to save Whitemon from the full combo. Swap back as well. Cuckoo trying to set up on the Tims, but Tim still has leaps available. As he'll be able to get himself away.
Good protection of the triangle for the time being, but KP now invis, but the Strength Morph started. They're air sentry.
Yeah, they can't finish this off anymore with Raven being quick with the reaction there. Still with the Moonlight. They had the chance to catch someone around mid. Armel has boat back online. Geek Fam are holding themselves pretty tight as a unit, making sure that they're not allowed to get caught out. Bottom lane being pushed in by KP.
That was really good.
Find anything with this nighttime.
Yeah, really good read there by Raven. I actually think the sentry didn't catch on the right side, but I think it caught somebody on the left side, and he just was like, all right, I'm just too afraid to sit on this side, not strength morphing. A very likely death that he prevented there. And they're keeping the net worth closer than I thought it would be. They're farming really well, moving around the map, even though it's 8-2.
Dyer's bottom tower is under attack.
So these 15-minute runes are going to be able to secure 2 apiece.
K has a Blink Dagger. He's pinging Gabby in the mid lane, but March is at the ready with a full stick and a mech right behind.
Let's see if K goes for it. He's going to try. Jumps in.
Ooh,
misses the hook jump. Holding onto the Doom, now he drops it. He's going to drop the Doom down. The curse as well. Onto Gabby. A little bit of an awkward combo there, as there wasn't even anyone really around to hit him. They're still bringing Gabby down, but Archie's got the mech, as you said. Gyro's just full HP, basically, as they're ready to turn back into the fight. The cooldown coming down onto Carl. The Doom is dead. Missile flies over towards Whitemon. TNC going to be able to find a few of them. And Cuckoo had swapped himself into his own death there, it felt like. That's 3 dead. It's 11-2. The tower's down in the mid lane. And it seems like every time they use the Doom, they just sort of metaphorically doom themselves, Geek Fam.
Okay, they don't have much vision on the map. It's been pretty much taken out all by TNC in this game, but you have to know that the IO is just sitting behind Gyro. Like, there's so many different plays that TNC has there that even if he does get doomed, they could even just relocate him out and then reset the fight entirely, or they do exactly what they do there and just bring people. Very bizarre move from Geek Fam is they try to make a move onto KP, but they're all just dying.
Oh, but K's dead again! As soon as he died in the same spot, respawns, gets back, he's gone once more. Oh, they're crumbling here, Geek Fam. They're not losing any sort of sense of teamwork. It's falling apart.
Yeah, I mean, they don't know what to do because, and KP bottom, he actually finds the grab onto the Morphling, onto Raven. They're running down, he canceled his TP. They're going to catch it.
All he could do is try and work his way through the trees here. He's got one more waveform to play with, but there you have it. Ready and waiting, Armel and Tim's moving down to connect with KP's aggression. Whitemon is here. Arrow hits, they're a little scared of committing on him though. TNC playing safe, knowing the potential TPs are coming in onto tier 2. They won't try and force it any further onto Raven. So Raven will get away.
Geek Fam is really lucky because K's TP as well as Zephyr's TP, and I guess Cuckoo's was just available. The 2 of them were not available. They could have absolutely chased that one if they had, bird's eye view like we have, of course. But Raven will survive, but gets pressured, and I mean TNC just cruising now after that last few moments. Gabby pretty much has the Aghanim's scepter finished up. Oh my.
Yeah, Raven's got his work cut out this morning, or this afternoon, evening, whatever time zone you're in, watching from. Raven is, yeah, he's got to do a lot in this Morphlng game. As
yeah, he needs to
all around him.
Yeah, and sure, he's got the buffs and he's got the good matchup versus the Gyrocopter, but like we mentioned, playing versus that Night Stalker really just cripples your potential. Because sure, you got Manta, awesome. You know, you're going to be able to prevent some of the, you know, you're going to be able to work around some of the stuff and play around like the X's, but Silence is different when he just sticks on top of you.
Maybe once he has the E-Blade, there'll at least be that chance for him to start the fights off bursting one of the squishier heroes of TNC, but I mean, as we've seen, you know, March is going to be prepared with these saves.
Yep.
That mech. I think it's going to be hard. They've got the Orchid finish now on the Wyvern, so Zephyr extra potential with that curse. Okay. I'm going to have to see if they've got to be a little more careful with the usage of it. Yeah, top, KP's going to be found here as KP just pops the Dark Ascension immediately, gets on top of him. They're moving in with Gabby and March, so they'll have enough damage here for sure. K's trying to run, but a homing missile's heading his way. Tries for the TP, blinks out of the side, but there's no way. No way he can play his way out of this one. As TNC clean up the mid-doom once again. And mid-lane, the kills just continue for TNC. Quick catch onto Zephyr.
Okay, Cuckoo.
And the Wyvern comes down to a crashing end. Cuckoo's out as well. This is a rough one for Geek Fam. A very rough one indeed. Their core's having a very tough time. You know, apart from Raven, you know, Raven he's just in his own little land right now. He's just trying to look away from it all, keeping his eyes averted from all this horrendous action that Geek Fam's been involved in. As you know, his mid laner, mid-doom is 0-5-1. His off laner is 0-6-1. Not the greatest at KDAs. So I wouldn't be surprised if Raven's just muted his teammates and he's just hitting the creeps right now.
Yeah, maybe Raven just avoids a death and he's just like, hey guys, I end 0-0-1. What are you guys doing? Look at you guys dying all over the place. No, they're just getting completely ran at. TNC, I don't see this game getting any easier for Geek Fam either, because now TNC, they have all the items that they need that we said, like, you know, they've got the Vessel, they've got the Blink, they've got this mech backup. They have so many different ways just to counter Geek Fam's lineup at the moment, and yeah, Geek Fam's just a long way from being able to actually get a good team fight off, because they only have the Wyvern Curse. They don't have great follow-up. They have to get like a Wyvern Curse into a 5-man stomp from the Doom. In comparison to match, TNC is just well drafted team fight draft.
Let's see where Geek Fam can go with this one. Smokes out and getting Raven involved, making this move now. Okay, alongside their morph. It's been scanned out though. TNC hit the target, bang on.
Oh god, are they gonna walk right into him? TNC, they're so prepared. No nighttime though available. That's what they're trying to take advantage of on Geek Fam. About 20 seconds until KP will have that. They're just gonna play it safe. They're gonna back up on TNC after that scan is successful, and then once Darkness is coming back up, they're gonna look to, well, Dark Ascension, sorry. Once they have that back up soon, they'll walk back out. K in the mid lane.
Just have to be careful.
Yeah.
Anytime the Armel or, of course, KP with his Blink's able to jump on him, he will go down. Top lane, Zephyr. He's trying to push out a lane. Goes for TP out and will make it away. Missile not quick enough to connect. So Zephyr gets away with spending that time pushing that top lane out.
What's Cuckoo gonna buy? He's sitting on 2,600 gold. Yeah, it's not shown what he's gonna buy at all.
I mean, what
okay.
It's just gonna get the Vlads. I mean, it's fair enough, right? You want to make the game easier for Raven. Get him any sort of auras online.
I was thinking Vlad's or Force Staff would probably be the best options.
Yeah, because they don't have any forces right at the moment, do they? Only the swap to rely on.
Yeah, Zephyr went for that Orchid Greed, so they have no way to protect Raven if he does get silenced up.
Yeah, full greed on Zephyr as well. Orchid and then into the Shadow Blade.
Yeah.
Yeah, he sort of, I mean, I guess at this point, you know, he sort of says, hey, well, Cuckoo, with the same net worth, I might as well just be as much of a core as you are. He's getting all sort of the off-lane Wyvern items right now.
Yeah. It's very, I mean, it's his play style, the way he plays the 4 position. He's very greedy on Zephyr normally. So when he plays as like Phoenix and he plays as like Miranas and stuff, he always gets very, very greedy type of style. Which, I mean, it works for them a lot of the time, so. This game, not so much, but can't really blame him entirely. I think they just have a really tough matchup in this one. Now they're starting to run around with Raven. He's getting close to the E-Blade, which is one thing that can sometimes turn if they can get the pickoffs, but TNC again with the aggression.
Yep, Zephyr gonna drive the TPO. They got the damage, they don't. KP popping the drums there for that extra bit of punch, but it isn't quite enough to take him out. Back towards mid. Gabby and March will pick up Whitemon out alone. TNC, Armel and KP coming over to join them alongside this mid push that Gabby and March are going to have coming in. Already KP hunting behind the tower. See if we can find any sort of setup, but Carl's already back up to the base. They won't dive, they'll just focus on pushing the Sid too.
About 2 minutes till nighttime. Dark Ascension's cooldown for 90. They're going to back up anyway, look to finish up Gabby's Satanic. Once he has that, I mean, I don't see a way he dies unless he just gets popped out of position, but so many different ways to protect this gyrocopter who's already having such a good game. TNC, no rush.
No deaths on him whatsoever. Same to be said for, well, most of the lineup. It's just Tim's that's gone down the twice. Everybody else on TNC not dying a single time this game.
Yeah. I mean, they're coasting through this one, for sure. Getting close to, yeah, Satanic, BKB soon on Armel. March, also, I think he has what? He has the Holy Locket finished? He does have the Holy Locket. Oh, wait, that's not the Holy Locket. No, yeah, yes, it is.
Yeah, he's got it. Right.
Yeah, he's got it finished.
It's on its way.
That's going to be really strong.
Yeah, between sort of that and the mech, that's a lot of burst to provide for himself and whoever he's tethered up with.
It's 35% extra on top of the tether thing too, so it's not just the fact that he can, you know, use it on other people, but here comes the aggression, Zephyr.
Oh, they get the jump in. I'm going to be able to blow him up there with the E-Blade. Gonna take down one. K's going to move over towards the eye. Going to drop the team down onto March. March is going to stand his ground in the boat, get the boat buff, but it won't save him. March goes down. And managed to kill him off and take the Aegis away out of the Gyro's hands. Gabby's going to be back for round 2. Let's see if he can turn this one around. The Torrent's out, but the curse is there as well as the silence. Gabby, he's getting killed by his own teammates. He's falling on. They kill off the Gyro. Carl's still alive. Stop one to Armel. Armel turning, trying for this dude, but the cold embrace saves him. Raven cleans up. This was the plan all along. Raven said, I don't care what the rest of the team does for the first 25 minutes. I'm going to be able to carry this one. And he's doing it. He's just got himself an ultra kill.
Look at his damage he did in the fight. 9,000. He had a DD rune. They end up catching the Eye on the front line. He turns into the Gyro with a DD and just punches out everybody with all the auras behind him. Oh my god.
This is, I mean, the Raven Morphlng, this is the Raven potential. I mean, maybe that's sort of how the drafting went, you know. It was sort of, Carl was like, hey, Raven, can I play Doom and go feed? Raven's like, sure, dude, I got you. I'll play more. Then Cuckoo's like, hey, can I play Venge and go feed? And Raven's like, yeah, man, you go for it. I got this one. Just pick me the water boy, and I'll win this game for us. I mean, 4-0-2, he's just had a fight like that. Yeah, they have to get on top of this morph. If they don't control Raven at the start of the fights, he's just going to clean up.
I can't believe they get that type of fight running into the high ground just because they placed these aggressive wards. They walked up into TNC and just got the perfect situation. Wow. 8K gold swing, right? Just about.
Oh. Cuckoo. Now just sort of sticking with the agenda. Another death for him. Raven's like, keep it up, Cuckoo. All part of the plan. As Raven now has had the space to finish off his BKB. So he's going to be coming into the next fight with BKB, Manso, E-Blade.
Now he's got the protection versus the Night Stalker. So now his teammates, they don't need that Force Staff to protect him. And man, like honestly, that Zephyr curse really turned that whole fight around too. That was just perfect positioning by him, getting the curse around the Gyro. Because Gabby had, I believe he had the Satanic during the fight, so. Huge place for defense.
And it wasn't enough to save him, no. He's going for the BKB next. Knowing that he has to have some sort of safety against the burst if they do get onto him.
Yeah, and Raven with all the buffs that he is thrown onto him. I mean, yeah, 4-0-2, still very strong. Going up for that Satanic next. Amazing item versus that IO Gyro. Prevent a bit of that healing. Also that Night Slow versus the ranged heroes. It's just better. And now Tim's again, the one who keeps getting jumped on first.
Oh, got a Couple more leaps left. E-Blade's coming out, pots the Moonlight Shadow. Whitemon's got a sentry, drops it down. Got the range for the Fire Blast, and Raven will claim another life.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
We'll see where they head next as TNC. Got to be so careful when they turn up to the pushes that the Raven's involved in.
Yeah, they're getting really close to double BKB though on the Alright, is it double or triple BKB?
Radiant's
Getting pretty close to triple BKB on the cores of TNC, so they are going to have some insane teamfight that does come out soon too. Well, they already do have insane teamfight, but they're going to have a lot easier access to just jump into the back lines and have no worries to try to look for Raven. That's probably what they're going to look for after they just got their... After they just got pretty scared after that last fight.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
Still should feel pretty confident though, because they still are quite a bit stronger. It is just mostly Raven, the one that's going to be doing all that, that's all buffed up. So if they can actually just take him out of the fight quickly, they're still very strong on TNC.
Yeah, but I mean, it's, you know, it's going to be hard, right? Because how do they stop Raven from using his BKB? You know, they can try and get the chain stun, the torrent, the arrow, and everything, but Cuckoo is going to be able to break that with a swap.
The prize is mine.
Yeah, it's very unlikely that Raven just dies immediately to this combo without having any opportunity to react. And you can imagine he's going to be playing it careful in any position where he's unsure of where they are. He's not going to be caught out on sort of full agi.
Yeah. And they're also like picking up, now they're starting to pick up these items to protect him too. I believe Whitemon's about to have the Force Staff, so that will make it pretty nice. Much closer game than I think we had anticipated after that early game. March, Tim's, trying to reclaim the outpost.
I don't think I've ever seen this one since the change as well on Venge. Cuckoo going for that axe, and you know, I wouldn't be surprised if you even didn't know what it did, Fog. You know, of all the changes
It's the
Venge
fear.
had, but
Yeah.
it's the fear in it. I've never seen this one actually in action in any of the pro games. But it sounds pretty good, bro. A 2-second fear and having 2 charges of it. I mean, sure, the cooldown right is still pretty long for the charge restore, but yeah, having two-second fears to play with in the fight, it sounds pretty potent.
And it's huge, is the big thing. It's a 700 radius. It's massive, the fear. So if he does swap the Morphling out when people are focusing him, they're all going to get feared away. So, yeah, I definitely see the potential for it as he switches and EQs up the beat.
Oh, he's gone for the boring king bar. Come on. Why'd you go for the BKB?
Every time.
Want to see some Ags action. It would have been the first time not seen it. Maybe next, still getting it.
All right, this is the triple BKB. TNC, this is go time. This should be the fight that they have a lot of easier access into. The Geek Fem also looks like they're probably prepared to smoke up. March has to be very wary of his positioning. I believe does he have buyback available? Yes, okay. March has buyback, so will be a little bit different. They can't just doom the IO this time around. So fight will be quite a bit harder. We'll see who they choose to target at the beginning of it. It still feels tough, especially if they have any vision. I feel like KP should be holding a dust. I don't know if he knows that Zephyr has a Shadow Blade finished, but he can just get into the back line as this Night Stalker onto the Wyvern. They completely crush the team fight that Geek Fam does have, so they're trying to get the flank.
Radiant's middle tower is under
Let's see.
attack.
It's a long wrap around TNC. Who they're going to find out? They go straight away with the Dark Ascension and move in, looking for the back lines. KP just before the BKB's already out from Raven. Comes across, turns to the Jara. He's got that flat, good to go. Looks towards Gabby. Being swarmed back into the midst of the fight. Cuckoo in there, do him out to Gabby. Gabby, he's got to be careful. Doesn't have the poke buff coming in to save him. They've already killed off Geek Fam. They'll finish off Cuckoo through the BKB. There's good reactions here from TNC. They've even got the catch for a further kill on Decay. X marks there from Armel. To find themselves a 4th. TNC back on top with this solid team fight performance. March did have to buy back, but still absolutely worth it. Only Raven staying alive there this time around, just unable to get Raven in a position to do the damage required. The boat buff came out, Gabby lives through the doom, and suddenly there's sort of everything that you're throwing into that gyro, it hasn't killed him. Gabby's able to turn and clean up.
And just like I was talking about, the IO head buyback. March knows exactly what he needs to do in the game. Like, he's gonna get focus fired so hard in the fight that just save buyback, come back in. You can always reset and heal up Gabby. Also, KP, flawless execution by him in that fight. Jumps directly over the entire team onto the backline, onto Zephyr with Armel. They kill the Wyvern before he gets a single spell off. So they pretty much prevented a majority of that team fight. Gabby gets focused really hard, but they had already lost most of their numbers. So perfect execution from TNC when they were on the low ground. I really like the way they just beelined all the way onto the high ground into the back line. Big fight for them.
Zephyr, does he want to go for the curse? Yeah, he does. He's going to go for on March. Is it enough damage, though? It isn't quite. Isn't quite there.
Tanky
That
IO.
extra bit of damage from the Orchid Jet. March just tanky enough with this mech and a Holy Locket coming out after the curse ended.
And a Fairy Fire, or a Greater Fairy Fire, sorry.
True, yeah.
Even more.
Huge amounts of burst.
Yeah. I mean, Raven still, like I said, Raven's still super farmed, and he's still 6-0-2 in the fights. He just finished his Scotty, has a Titan Sliver too, the best item for Morphling. It's just full base damage. He's still very strong, but the rest of his team, they have to be able to protect themselves. Ferocious pings coming out as they see the relocate, but it's an X on the relocate, and now they're immediately smoking after.
See if Armel can find the X setup.
Uh-oh, Whitemon, he's very far forward.
Oh, he's going to try for the TP, but they've still got the vision. We'll be able to cancel it, no problem. That's where do they want to push now? They haven't got any creeps on the bottom lane, TNC. They'd have to head back over to mid to bring those ones in if they want to try and push again. Geefam's still out on the map, staying around in their jungle. Keeping Raven as safe as possible whilst he tries to get the Satanic done on the Skadi. Obviously this time as it passes, Gabby's going to have a full Rapier if he does want to invest. That he will be able to look to fight with this Aegis. Just about 800 gold off the Rapier.
Dire's middle tower.
Still is scary, right? Like, this Morphling is still definitely a concern. You can tell that TNC is preparing for him. Still definitely afraid of Raven's potential.
Yeah, I mean, as much as you want to see it, do you agree with sort of Gabby's sort of decision here that Rapier is necessary, that he has to take that risk in this game?
The thing is, if it's just Morphling in the fights, right? Like, if he just they can just wipe the rest of the four, and then it's just a Morphling alone. I can see why it can be so good in this game for sure. And this is, look at this positioning. Armel, he's scouting all of them. They see Raven.
Yep, they're going to try and set things up as KP jumps in with the silence. Boat's going to be coming down. Combo onto Zephyr. Able to eliminate the Wyvern, get rid of
Arrow on Raven.
The curse. Cuckoo's dead too, and indeed with that setup, they can move over to Raven. He's got the BKB. Full waveform away. Also turning into the Night Stalker here, getting extra movement speed to run things off as he will manage to escape into the safety of K and Whitemon's arms. They get Raven out of there, but again, it's another 2 quick kills for TNC. Geekfam not able to fight back.
That was scary for a second. I saw Raven get clipped by an arrow. I thought maybe they'd have follow-up. I almost want to say that someone on TNC should go just Sheepstick, because they're still limited on their disables for this Morphling, and nobody's really, I mean, everyone's really close to it, but I feel like even like Armel, anyone going for it could be amazing.
Yeah,
it's just
true.
Raven at this point. He's the only problem that they're having in the game.
Dire's middle tower is under
Yeah, I can see maybe it being an item that Tim's could go for. Sure, as you say, not close to it, but he's got 1800, and I mean, what else do you really need from Tim's in this position as a Marauder?
Yeah, I mean, they're still like, cruise controlling a little bit over the game. It's still the fear of this Raven that can potentially just turn a fight if he gets a good shift. They get a DD rune, and they are still positioned here very aggressively. KP on a bit too far up, though.
He's just getting jumped on. Diplomat straight away. A little too far out alone. The rest of the team not anywhere near to help things as KP just gets collapsed upon by the entirety of Geekfam. Geekfam can try and push on now. 50 seconds, no Night Stalker. Might be able to try and poke out on the map a bit. Gabby down bottom, but still holding on to his money, has yet to spend it. He's out here alone.
That was scary. Zephyr was pinging him on the side too when he was just chilling, maybe expecting someone to cut a waiver. He seemed aware though. It looks like Armel is going to be the one that goes for the Hex. He's queued it up after the AC. So he just finished AC, and then I think they're realizing that it's really just Raven that they have to address. Everyone else just dies. They're just flak inside of the fights. Aegis will get reclaimed, and it looks like the Rapier is finished, but he's going to keep it locked for the moment.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, as you say, yeah, just make sure that he only unlocks it when he's actually in a situation with the whole team around him, Gabby.
Yep.
And you know, not when he's trying to push it out alone or just with March. He's got to save it for the big fight.
Yeah, because they just saw him. They just pinged it. I think it was Whitemon who pinged. He saw the relic as soon as he walked up to the creep wave. And now they're seeing the illusion in the wave too. They know there's an illusion escape, and they see that relic plus Demon's Edge inside the bags.
I mean, definitely a risk there, right? Gabby does get jump taken out. If this Rapier somehow ends up in Raven's hands, that kind of feels like the game then. If this Morph is able to get that Rapier and obviously use the flak potential against TNC, this game's going to be kind of rough. So, all in on this Rapier, Gabby. He cannot let it slip out of his hands. He cannot afford to die now.
In very SDA style, you know, right? It's like, hey, we're doing really well in this game. Rapier? Yeah, Rapier.
I mean, yeah, as you say, I like it. It definitely feels like it's more likely than not to pay off, but there's always that chance. There's always that chance that things can slip up.
I'm a little surprised he didn't go for the butterfly, because there is no true strike at all on the Morphlng, right? And it is still a pretty strong butterfly game, but, you know, whatever. Gabby doesn't want none of that.
Although we have Raven with the full satanic, so I mean already as we've seen they've struggled to kill him any times at all this game. Also having the AC aura from Carl on top of the Shivas, so excellent backup. I mean, as we said, with the heroes alone, they have great ways to buff this Morph now. So many ways that Raven's going to be very strong in these fights, and the question just is, you know, who do you favour more in these fights, the Raven Morph or the Gabby Gyro at this point with the team that both of them have around them?
This position. So it's really so much about how they catch, because Zephyr getting caught 2 times in the last fights has been so crucial that they just can't even turn to look for fighting back. And they gotta watch out who's showing in the front line. Gabby shows.
Sees a little spook to start with. There's Raven. He's going to commit on the front lines. He's looking towards March. Now turns over to look for what Gabby's dead. He's gone. He's hit the deck. He dies straight away. Also finding the IO and KP. They just found 3 of them. They just take him out immediately. And of course, he didn't unlock the Rapier, so Rapier is still safe. And I mean, you can see why he's not unlocking the Rapier. I guess he's only going to unlock it when they're actually taking a fight on the high ground, because as we've seen just there, fights outside of the base, Geek Fam absolutely will still crush them with the power that Raven has.
And Raven just found a DD. Also, in that fight, did you see what happened? So, Raven turned into the gyro immediately, put a missile on him, and then it was a swat from Cuckoo that instantly stunned him into the missile. So then he just gets fired. It was actually really well executed by them. I'm not sure if it was 100% done on purpose, but it was perfect for them.
No, I imagine
Gabby.
definitely, because I saw like obviously the homing missile heading the way of Gabby, and you know, as you say, you'd expect him to be able to put the BKB in time, but yeah, that quick move from Cuckoo definitely would have tripped him up. He was not ready to react that quickly.
And their base is just shredded. They don't want to waste buybacks, and all right, 9K advantage for Geek Fam after 1 fight now. This is Raven at Morphlng.
Oh, there's a swap. KP's dead. He has got a fight back, and now we're going to see the fight. As Gabby, he equips himself with it. The Rapier is built, but the curse is out onto him. Raven's heading over. They're going to look to determine if there's any way they can keep Gabby alive. He's popping the Satanic, but Raven's out doing the damage. This guy as well stopping any sort of heals, or at least limiting them. He's got the kill. Raven's just dead. Raven picks it up. It's game over. It's absolutely game over. Ultra kill.
Give him a Rampage.
There it is. Raven 13-0-4. I mean, I guess this is the Geek Fam strat. Pick whatever you want mid, whatever you want off lane. You can die a little bit at the start. You know, it's Raven and the Space Makers basically, and it worked out perfectly.
Well, can't slip up a couple times in those team fights.